Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm back. Hope you're all doing well. And let's see. Tonight we're going to discuss the crown chakra and the heart chakra. But before we do that, I just want to say, get some business things out of the way. First and foremost, everybody that came to my St. Jude's event, thank you very much. It was a huge success. Had a fabulous time. So it's a great cause, and anybody knows anything about St. Jude's, you know, it's all proceeds go to the families. So it was just a wonderful process. Second, I want to tell you all this. Anyone that's looking to book an appointment for the holidays and everything else that's coming up, please do this ahead of time. My Thanksgiving week is already full, so I know people are coming home for the holidays and they try to get in. So if you want to book an appointment, please go on to philquinn.com and at least get yourself on the calendar, because there's no telling that it's going to be available. And then lastly, apparently I have a YouTube channel, which I didn't know about. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing some YouTube videos, and this does upload to YouTube, but I'm going to be doing separate videos for YouTube versus Facebook, just because there's certain things I can say on YouTube that I can't say on here. Okay, so let's get into it. I got out of the way. Tonight, we are discussing the crown chakra. Let me see if I can see here. Right here. This is where wisdom is, and the heart chakra. The reason I want to talk about these two things is they're two very powerful chakras. Hi, everybody. And powerful in the sense of one is bringing through information and the other one is bringing through love and passion. So the head and the crown never speak. They're almost enemies, because the crown wants us to develop wisdom. It wants us to continue moving forward. It wants us to continue to grow. And the heart chakra wants to be right. It wants love. It wants to be right. It wants to be correct. How do these two things affect me? Well, first and foremost, let me just talk about a relationship, because I think that's mostly what a lot of us can relate to. So the heart chakra falls in love. And it falls in love heavy with people. And often what it does is it has an eraser with it. So anytime we see red flags, the heart chakra wants to erase this. However, the crown chakra is screaming to you, hey, red flag. Why aren't you paying attention to this? And the heart chakra goes, no, it was just a little mistake, and it'll get better. Okay, so time goes on, we see more red flags. The crown chakra is screaming, this isn't working. Something's wrong here. It's trying to send information to the solar plexus. The solar plexus is what controls information. So your gut. This is where all information is processed in the sense of how do we get through our path. So often when we fall for somebody, there's several reasons, either out of loneliness, out of love, why it's our child or whatever. And the heart chakra keeps saying, give more, do more. The more you give, the more you do, the more this person is going to love you. The more this person is going to get better. The more this person is going to get involved. Or the heart chakra says, give me, give me, give me, give me, depending on what side of this relationship that you're on. The crown chakra is trying to get information through to you to say, listen, this isn't balance. The definition of a relationship is two people looking in the same direction. This is not balance. But why doesn't the heart process what the head's saying? Because it wants to be right. It wants to know that everything that you've invested in another person is not been a waste, that you haven't been taken advantage of, that you haven't been screwed over, that you haven't been betrayed. So the heart chakra will do anything it can to avoid seeing signals, because it wants what it wants when it wants it. It's just that simple. And the crown chakra's job is to give you information. So eventually what happens is, over time, we start to see these red flags, but now we're not sure how to process it, because we've convinced ourselves that if I do these things, this person is not going to go astray. My kid won't continue to get into drugs. My spouse won't leave me for another person. I won't lose this job, whatever the situation may be. The heart chakra is something that falls in love, and I'm repeating that again because that's what it wants. It wants to be emotionally secure. The crown chakra and the solar plexus directly communicate with each other. So after we start seeing red flags, and eventually information gets to the solar plexus, this is where processing starts to take place. And we start saying to ourselves, Is this person lying to me? Is this person deceiving me? Is this person doing X, Y, and Z? Are my friends right? And what happens is this starts percolating in us, okay? Because what happens is the heart chakra starts to calm down, and information has now flowed through into the solar plexus, and it's starting to say, did I miss these signs? Did I overlook that this person was not faithful? Did I overlook that this person was not being honest with me? Has my kid been lying to me all this time? Is this person drinking or drugging again? Whatever your circumstances may be, the solar plexus being the powerhouse for all of the chakras never lies. The crown chakra will give you warning. The solar plexus says, hey, listen, follow through on this because I'm not going to lead you astray. I'm trying to protect you. But the heart still will fight for what it fights for. I've watched people put themselves through, and I've done it myself, very difficult situations because the heart wants to be right. It doesn't want to see the bad in the other person. It doesn't want to see the negative in the relationship, in whatever format that's in. That could be in your job, that could be with your spouse, that could be with your kids, your siblings, or whatever it may be. It does not want to recognize that this person is deceiving me. And once it happens, once we recognize that, there's no one doing it. So that's when the solar plexus comes in and says, hey, listen, look at this for what it is. Then we go into the why. Why did I do this? So there's many reasons to say, why did I do this? But the heart chakra will start to make you question, why did I do this? Why was I such a fool? Why did I allow myself to get roped into this? Why did I, get screwed over? I've watched people get robbed of all of their money from online scams and the whole 9 yards because they're seeking for love. So the heart chakra does these things because it's missing a fundamental thing. Does anyone know what it is? Self-love. It's missing the fundamental part of, if you love yourself, you can then be aware of everything around you. When people show you who they are, believe them. So when people tell you that they're not going to do something and they do it time and time again, your crown chakra and your solar plexus is trying to tell you, hey, it's time to get out. Hey, time to take a step back. When you're trying to do something and you're fighting uphill, you need to assess yourself and say, is this the right direction I'm going in? And most importantly, what you need to do is try to quiet this down for one moment and ask your solar plexus, ask your gut, where am I going? What am I doing? If you question if someone is lying to you, deceiving you, cheating on you, talking behind your back, whatever, the chances are it's happening because the gut has no reason to lie to you. The heart will lie to you, and the crown chakra will get confused, but the gut is completely neutral. It's going to tell you if this is good or if this is bad, because its only purpose is to get you down the path. The heart chakra is run by the human side of us, the very primitive side that needs to have affection and needs to have people around us and needs to be social and does all those things. And when we get ourselves into a state of either isolation, or if we're extroverts, or if we don't know how to settle down, or if we think we have endless time, whatever the situation is, the heart chakra can dominate every single thing you do, even to the point where we're compulsive shoppers, compulsive drinkers, compulsive sex addicts, whatever it is, because again, it's looking for constant euphoria. So we have to be very mindful that the heart chakra doesn't take over our daily life. We have to be very mindful that sometimes we have to feel badly. Sometimes we have to feel pain in order to grow. We can't always constantly be medicating our feelings. And even though we want to do it because we've been taught to and or society says to do it, it's what we have to be mindful is these other chakras are very important. This is our information. This is our wisdom, our ability to see our past, present, and future, our ability to communicate, our ability to self-love and love the people around us. And then going into the solar plexus, the power chakra, this is what controls you and it's going to tell you, don't do this, do that. I think everybody on here has probably had a gut intuition that they never listened to, and they're like, damn it, I should have listened to that. Damn it, I should have been here to do this. So, and again, the solar plexus doesn't lie, your gut doesn't lie, because It's not one way or the other. It's just based on facts for it. So, but the heart chakra is definitely going to deceive you. And even though, here's another way, people always ask me, and the reason why I'm doing this topic again is because people keep asking, Phil, how can I tell the difference? If you have multiple people around you saying that this individual or situation is not good for you, you probably want to reassess that. Because outsiders, friends, and everything else see the things that we don't see because we are so immersed in that love or whatever the situation is. And again, that love doesn't just have to be relationships. It can be in jobs, it can be into animals, it can be whatever else. Has it gone to a place where it is self-destructive? Are you falling apart? Are you giving so much to yourself that the other person is thriving and you are not? So, and I've met many souls on the other side who says, Phil, I failed to give to myself. Self-love is something that's very, very important in order for this chakra not to control you. Go ahead, Jasper.
Janine says, I need to listen to my gut, but it's just so hard to walk away.
So I need to listen to my gut, and it's just so hard to walk away. So, all right, before we walk away, we have to acknowledge our gut. You can't just walk away from a situation, because if you do that, you're going to have tons of questions. What we have to do is acknowledge the gut. What's the gut telling me? This person may be bad for me. This person's unhealthy for me. This person is sick. This person is whatever. Now the next question, the heart's going to say, what am I getting out of this? And some of us want to be rescuers. Some of us want to be caretakers. Some of us want to do all of these things. But that's the negative side. The positive side to it is, what do I get out of it? If the answer is nothing, then we have to go back to what the gut is saying. If you stay in this situation, nothing will change. It is frightening to change. I actually thought I was pretty good with change until Jasper brought up that I wasn't. Learned something new. And I couldn't argue with him because he had very valid points. And there's certain things that I'm okay with changing with, and apparently other things that I'm not okay with. So that was something I learned about myself. And it's because the heart chakra says, let's stay secure, let's stay safe. Change is a terrifying thing because we don't know what the unknown is. But what we do know is our solar plexus, our aura, and our spiritual contract is saying, it's time to do something about the current situation you're in because it's not working for you. And that's what it comes down to, is when you self-acknowledge, when you put yourself first, you get the answer. When you become more important than the people that you're trying to help and or the situation that you're in, you will be able to move forward. Phil, that's selfish. I don't want to be selfish. This is not about being selfish. This is about preservation. This is about you being able to keep it together. Go ahead, Jasper.
How do you know the difference? Well, actually, how do you practice self-love without being selfish?
How do you practice self-love without being selfish? So selfishness is give me. It's all about me. I want to talk about me. I want to tell you about me. I want to do this here. So, and then self-love is really about I'm okay with me. I don't need other people around me in order to validate me. I don't need to have this amazing job in order for people to say, wow, look at him. Self-love is that you're totally comfortable in your own shoes and with your body and with you as an individual. And believe me, I struggle with that even myself. It's not an easy thing, but it's a daily thing that you work on. Self-love is essential. What do I do for myself? Some people drink coffee. Some people go to the gym. Some people, it's whatever it is that brings you joy that is healthy, not destructive, but it's healthy. That is self-love. I'm doing this. I'm taking the dog out for a walk. I'm doing this for me so that I can center and I can ground. When you're being selfish and you're putting yourself first for negative reasons, meaning that I'm going to take advantage or I don't want to work, so I'm going to make this other person work for me, whatever, that's the difference between selfishness and self-love. Go ahead, Jasper.
So how do you learn to self-love? I was emotionally abused as a child, and it's just so hard for me.
How do you learn to self-love? This is a great question, and I often get this with people is, Phil, I've had a tough childhood. I've had a difficult background. I've had this situation growing up where I grew up in an alcoholic family. I grew up in an abusive household. I got all of this here. Throughout my life and throughout the formative years, I was told I was no good. I wasn't worth anything. I was stupid. I was gay. I was this. They happen to be right on the gay thing. So, you know, I got 1 out of 10 good. So my point being here is, what do you do with that information when the people who are supposed to protect you, love you, and cherish you and build you up have poisoned you? So the committee in between your head, this is the crown, the third eye. This is where vision, past, present, and future. We have to hear the voice. Who is that voice? Is it someone from my past? Is it an ex-boyfriend? Is it an ex-husband? Is it a sibling? Is it my parents? Who is the voice in between my head? And if you constantly hear the negative tone from your childhood, then the committee is screwed up. And what we do is we have to slowly process this and say, consider the source. Consider who's putting you down. Take a good look at that individual and say, would I take information or would I take advice from that person? So look at the source. Don't hold on to the childhood because it will dominate your present. I'm not saying that it's easy to let it go overnight, but don't let it dominate your present and therefore your future, because if we don't quiet this committee, this will go your whole life. I've watched it. Go ahead, Jasper.
Shannon asks or says, I'm so busy taking care of others and worrying if they're okay that I feel like I don't deserve to take care of myself. I feel guilty.
So next week I'm doing a special on caring for the caregiver, and people often have trouble caring for themselves, because if I put myself first, then I'm going to have, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad daughter, I'm a bad son. If I get myself something and don't do it for my family, then, you know, am I not doing all the right things? So the most important part about this is you have to ask yourself, am I doing what's right for me? Am I doing what's right for me today? And am I doing what's right for my family? But if you're going the opposite route and the heart's saying, yeah, screw the family, screw all this, I'm just going to go out and do my own thing, then that's the difference between selfishness and the heart chakra and self-love. Go ahead, Jasper.
What is the best way to check a runaway heart chakra?
So people are saying my volume's still low. I'm speaking really loud. I'm not sure why the volume's low. So what's, Jasper, ask that question again?
What is the best way to check a runaway heart chakra?
What's the best way to check a runaway heart chakra? First of all, you have to identify what a runaway heart chakra is. Here's the best way I can tell you. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you say you're going to divorce your wife or your husband because you've met the love of your life, that is a good indication that you have a runaway heart chakra. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you say you're quitting your job because you're going to be blank, that is a runaway heart chakra. If you all of a sudden just want to pack up and just leave everything behind because you feel that you belong somewhere else, we probably want to recheck and say, is my heart chakra running away with me? Because I have literally met people, clients of mine, who believe they've met the love of their life and they're about to throw away their entire family. They're having a midlife crisis, whatever it is. And I'm like, before we do this, does the other person feel the same way about you? Are you financially providing to the other person? And if that money's not available, will this person still be in love with you? Like, let's check these things before you go and throw away your heart. Part of the situation here is the heart chakra is looking for excitement. This is what it's constantly searching for in one form or another. It's either searching for love, it's either searching for a family, it's either searching to be grounded, but it's constantly looking for excitement. That is what the heart chakra is doing. The crown chakra is like the parent. It's like, hey, slow it down, okay? You know, this is not working for you. And if you do this, you're going to regret it. Go ahead, Jasper.
So is there ever a time where you should trust your heart chakra?
So is there ever a time where you should trust your heart chakra? Absolutely, when it's in the right place. So when it means that I need to do something for myself, I need to do something for the family, I need to have date night with my significant other, I need to just do something that's very positive. So yes, the heart chakra has a very, very important role. But when it's driving everything, that's how you know it's in overdrive. When it's balanced, and which we've talked about in previous videos, it'll tell you this would be good for you, this would not be so good for you. If you get involved in this, you're going to be given a lot more of your energy, and the crown chakra in its communication will say, do we have that energy to give? Do we have that free time to give? And that's when everything is in balance. But when you are so driven to do one particular thing, and everyone around you is telling you you're losing your mind, there's probably a good chance that you need to take just a deeper look at what's going on. Go ahead, Jasper.
What do you do when you know 100% in your gut that you're being used or made out to be a bad guy, when others are telling you that you are the one taking things the wrong way, and you are being difficult because you won't go along with what they want?
So, what do you do when you're being told that you're the bad guy and if you don't go along with what they want, all right, look, let me just give it to you straight, because I can only tell you what I've been taught from the other side. When someone else constantly imposes their will, desires, or needs onto you, you need to reevaluate that relationship and or friendship. When somebody is constantly telling you that you are the problem, you are the issue, you need to have a look at, the next question you need to say to that person is, then why are you here? Why do you keep coming back? Why are we in this relationship? Whatever it is. We only own 50% of this. Always remember that. Yes, there's other people that do much more, so I'm talking generally. But we only own 50% of our stuff. It is essential we don't take on other people's baggage. It is essential that we don't listen to other people and allow them to make us feel guilty for things we did not do. I try to live my life by this. Not always good at it, but I try to. You cannot fix something you didn't cause. If someone else hurt another individual, and you think your love can come in and wash that all away, you're fooling yourself. The only person that can fix the trauma is the person that hurt the individual or caused the trauma. Sometimes they've gone. Sometimes they're dead. Sometimes the individual is unable to even discuss it. But if you get into a situation or you meet a relationship where somebody says, I've been cheated on constantly, blah, 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 don't enter that, because that person is sending out, what you project is what you attract. So if I send out that I'm always going to get cheated on, then I'm going to bring somebody into my life that either cheats on me, or I'm going to bring somebody into my life that's an enabler and that I have control over. So it's very important that you assess these things. Go ahead, Jasper.
Do we get help from our loved ones on the other side in listening to the wisdom of the crown chakra?
Say that again.
Do we get help from our loved ones on the other side in listening to the wisdom of our crown chakra?
So, does the crown chakra access the information from the other side from our loved ones that have passed over and they're trying to give us information? 100%. That's what the crown chakra does. Information flows through us, meaning that this is where all information comes. So it's your family screaming at you on the other side, don't do this, or it's your family screaming on the other side, walk away, or it's your family telling you, hang in there. So it's your family trying to do this. So, or it's your guides trying to do this. But that's the main purpose of the crown chakra. Somebody's asking, how do I know if my husband still loves me or doesn't? I have no idea. And the reason why I have no idea is, here's how you find out. Ask. This is the throat chakra. The most important thing that we do is find our voice. That's why we go through this here. Finding your voice is essential, because if you're with somebody, or if you're in a relationship, or if you're doing whatever it may be, ask the other person, are you happy? Do you want to be here? A lot of people are afraid of the truth, but the truth truly does liberate us. It sets us free.
She's speaking specifically to her late husband.
Oh, on the other side? So even better. Vicky, so the question is, if somebody passes over, their love does not change for you. So that's another thing I want to make clear. This is why I want to do a YouTube channel, because I can say things on there that Facebook doesn't allow me. When you lose a significant other, it's not like they find floozies over there that I talked in one of my other videos and they start hooking up with the other side. That's not how this works. Your family that has passed over still is here for you and still loves you and still wants you. But I will tell you one thing. Many souls come through to me and say, I don't want you to remain on earth alone. I want you to have somebody else in your life, because you still have to live. So always know that when your family crosses over, it's not like they take off and they're like, forget them, I'm over here. It doesn't work like that. Go ahead.
I have a couple more questions.
Go ahead, Jasper.
Megan, we didn't quite...
Thank you for clearing that up.
We didn't quite cover this. Megan asks, how do you clear blocks in your chakras, especially speaking to your crown and heart chakra?
Ooh, how do you... you know what? I'll do a special on how to clear blocks, because it's involved, and I don't want to get lost in that.
Okay. Corinne says, my heart told me to be there consistently to give advice for someone who was just receiving. My gut told me I was wasting time and that I couldn't get back, so I stopped. But my heart feels guilty.
So I was helping somebody, I was giving them advice, I was doing as much as I possibly can. The person was receiving and doing nothing. Then what happened was I take a step back, but my heart feels heavy. Your heart feels heavy because you feel betrayed, not because the other person didn't follow through. Our job is we can bring people to the information, the facts, and it's up to them what they want to do it. If the person is asking for help, they have a duty to follow through. If someone asks for your assistance, they have a duty in trying to better themselves. If all they want to do is sit and complain, you're best backing off, because all you're doing is feeding their anxiety, their fears, their insecurities. Go ahead, Jasper.
Rita actually asks about the YouTube channel. How does she get to the YouTube channel?
No, I'm gonna so my YouTube channel, I'm gonna post on my business Facebook here, and I'll write a post about this is how you all go, and then you just subscribe on it, and then each time, so you just click the subscribe button, and each time as I upload a video, it'll let you know that I have put on a video. That's as much as I know about it.
So what if I really do get joy out of taking care of everybody?
Oh, good question.
I really do it for me.
Oh, here you go. So here's the thing. Then you're in check. I like taking care of people. I like helping people. I like giving it to. And here's how it's in check. As long as it's not affecting your life in a negative manner, then it means the heart chakra is in check. If you like giving, if you like helping people, if you like walking people through different scenarios, then you're following your path. You're doing what you have to do. It's when it causes you stress, pain, or it keeps you awake at night is what I'm referring to. That's when you have to reassess. Do I need to back off? Do I need to get out of this? Is this a negative situation? Go ahead, Jasper.
Joanne asks, what if it's hard? What if it hurts to walk away? Does it ever get better?
So, what if it hurts to walk away? Does it ever get better? Only when we accept that we walked away for the right reasons. Sometimes you have to walk away because there's nothing you can do to help the individual. Sometimes you have to walk away for safety. Sometimes you walk away for your own mental well-being. And most importantly, hopefully we walk away because it's good for us. So feeling guilty is a normal process about it. Feeling pain is a normal process. But we're holding on to the good ideas and the good thoughts and the good memories rather than seeing what the person is. If we see that what the person did or who they are, then it's more easy to accept the pain than it is to ignore it. Go ahead, Jasper.
Debbie wants to know, so if a spouse was jealous in the physical, are they going to be jealous on the other side?
No, and here's the thing. If I had a jealous spouse when they were alive and they crossed over, would they say to me, go have another relationship? Well, here's what happens. When you go through the soul review, you realize your shortcomings. You realize your negative things. You realize where things were, where you went wrong. So when you go through the soul review on the other side, you recognize you were jealous, you recognize if you were controlling, you recognize if you were negative or whatever the situation may be. And then as you go through that, they often come through and say, ooh, I had this all wrong. And the jealousy is gone and they tell you, go ahead. Sometimes when we lose our partners, it doesn't mean that we want to see them again on the other side. There is that group of people too. Go ahead, Jasper.
So my friends warned me about my boyfriend, but I thought they were wrong. I followed my heart and made a big mistake.
So my friends warned me about my boyfriend. I wanted to believe that they were wrong. I followed my heart and made a big mistake. You didn't make a mistake. You had a wonderful lesson. So that's how you have to look at this. You can't look at this as mistakes. You have to look at these as lessons. You'll continue to repeat the same lesson until you get it, but they're not mistakes. What they are is preparing you for the relationship that you want. Sometimes we have to kiss a whole lot of toads before we find our prince. But here's the thing. If you go from negative relationship to negative relationship to negative relationship, it's never ever going to change. So what you have to do is self-assess. When we exit out of a negative relationship, we need to go into self-assessment mode. How did I get into this? Why did I get into this? And how do I stop myself from doing this? So I hope that this cleared up some of the head and the heart. And the gut. It'll never ever lead you astray. But the most important part is don't always mistrust your heart. But when you have many people telling you this isn't a great thing for you, you probably want to look at that and say, my friends aren't, jealous. They're telling me that this person is doing X, Y, and Z. So for this week, I want you all to be aware of your heart chakra. I want you to see if it's driving you in a good way or if in a negative way. And I also, most importantly, want you to be aware of your gut and your crown chakra and information that's coming through and how is it helping you and how is it making you a better person. So is one controlling you more than the other? Remember, we don't want that. We want constant balance. So if one is driving the rest of the chakras, then we need to reassess. I'll see you all next Thursday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, if you want to schedule an appointment before the holidays, my week of Thanksgiving is already booked out. So if you have people who are coming into town or whatever, please go ahead and schedule them. And I will see you all next Thursday. Thanks so much. Have a great night.